These two artillery fuses were found in the area of Col de Braus, a mountainous area in southern France where US paratroopers and German forces battled each other in September and October 1944. Let's do a bit of battlefield forensics and see what we can find out by closely looking at the fuses. Firstly, what is an artillery fuse? The fuse is the smart part of an artillery shell that determines when the shell will explode, for example on impact with the ground, or in the air shortly before hitting its target. These fuses are German, as is made obvious by the presence of a little eagle and swastika inspector's stamp. They were manufactured in 1944. One fuse is marked AQS, meaning it was manufactured by Süddeutsche Armaturenfabrike, while the other, marked AZG, was manufactured by Siemens Schuhkehrtwerke AG in Berlin. Both fuses bear the inscription LIGRZ23NA, which stands for Light Infantry Shell Fuse Type 23, New Model. This type of fuse was designed to be used on a 75mm shell fired by a light infantry cannon. During the Col de Braus fighting, the Germans had taken up position in Fort Barbonnet, a French Maginot Line fort just across the valley, about 2 kilometers away. The fort was equipped with French 75mm guns mounted in armored turrets, and the American paratroopers complained that these turrets had fired on them with impunity during the battle, while they were incapable of firing back effectively. Perhaps these fuses were fired out of the French fort by the Germans. Finally, one can note the presence of a setting on the fuses with the markings OV and MV015. These markings stand for Ohne Verzögerung and Mit Verzögerung 015, meaning without delay and with 0.15 second delay. By rotating this setting, the artillerymen could set the shell either to explode immediately on impact or to explode 0.15 seconds after impact. But why would they choose to wait 0.15 seconds for the shell to explode? This was mainly for firing at solid targets, such as a house or bunker with soldiers inside, in order to give the shell time to penetrate the walls and enter the bunker before it exploded. Otherwise, it would harmlessly explode against the outer wall, causing no harm to the people inside. The delay could also be used to give time for the shell to bounce back in the air by ricochet before exploding. A mid-air explosion, or airburst, is more deadly to exposed soldiers than a burst against the ground. However, this ricochet effect requires quite a flat angle of impact, which would be difficult to obtain in mountainous terrain. As can be seen, in this case the shell is set on OV, without delay, meaning it would have exploded immediately on impact. This seems like a logical choice in the mountainous terrain of Col de Braus, where the bedrock lies under a thin layer of earth, making it impossible for the Americans to dig deep dugouts. At best they could have made small covered foxholes. Firing time fuses that would have made the shells explode before impact would also have made sense, but perhaps the Germans didn't have any. Or perhaps they were hoping to hit covered foxholes that could resist the falling shrapnel from an airburst, but would not resist a direct hit by a shell. In any case, the violence of the direct impact with the ground is still obvious on both fuses. So in the end, these old and bent fuses were able to reveal quite a lot of information.
Germany. Oh yeah, because there's an eagle here.
Can I see? Can you show me yours?
Right there.
So what do you see here?
It's a Nazi eagle.